What is up, my fasting family? My name is Justin. This is Fasting Philosophy, and in today's video, we're going to discuss what to do once you've reached your weight loss goals following a fasting-focused lifestyle. Also, emphasis on the lifestyle and not using fasting as a quick fix, because you will fall back onto old patterns and you will regain the weight potentially. So with that being said, I have two comments that I'm going to go through, and we're going to discuss some strategies to use once you have reached your weight loss goal with fasting in order to keep the weight off and, to stay at that weight, or build muscle, whatever you want to do. After you do reach the weight, we're going to discuss some strategies on how to keep it off. So with that being said, let me get into this first comment. It was actually a message I got on Instagram from Sarah Gabbs. She said, just found your YouTube and subbed. Keep promoting the fasting focused lifestyle and make sure you talk about how it's a lifestyle and not just a diet, especially the snake diet. So that is why I'm making this video. As you guys know, I did a 6-week transformation following ADF, the snake diet. I did a 4-day fast. You can check out both of those videos down in the description. But once I got off of that, I didn't really have a plan, didn't really have a strategy for how I was going to keep the weight off. I went on 2 vacations back to back, and then I've been working so much this summer in the heat. So it's been very hard, but I've thrown in as many long fasts as I could, and I've had to adjust my strategy. So basically, once I lost the weight, I kind of fell back onto some old patterns. My eating windows got a little too big. I consumed a little bit too much of the wrong things. I started eating too many nuts, too many really calorically dense things. So I put back on some weight. Plus I was working. So had to adjust my strategy. Went to more of a 1 meal a day type of eating. I started off with a 4-hour eating window, kind of brought it down. So I tried my best to do a 1-hour eating window or 3-hour max window when I do refeed following alternate day fasting. Now, some days I do have to do 1 meal a day. If I were to tell you guys the perfect strategy for once you do lose the weight, I would say fall back on the 1 meal a day. A lot of people have a lot of success with the 1 meal a day. Put it in a tight eating window. You could start off with 4 hours, and if you notice that you're gaining weight, tighten up the window, 2 hours, and then I would say make sure you throw in a few either 36 or 48 hour fasts throughout the week, 1 or 2, and just kind of use scale feedback to judge if you are keeping the weight off. So just as we got the weight off with fasting, we are going to use fasting in the same way to keep the weight off. But I think some people will do just fine going to a 1 meal a day style of eating. Anything more than that and you'll definitely put back on the weight. But when you do, you can inevitably use fasting to take it right back off. So with that being said, I have another comment that I want to go through. This one is more extensive. It's much longer. This is from Armando Salvador. Armando says, excellent content, man. Just started following you. I'm a big advocate of the ketogenic lifestyle. Was introduced December of 2017 and decided, okay, let me try this for like 2 months and let's see. Was hesitant and skeptical at first, but by the point I've plateaued with my body fat and weight, thus I decided to commit. So I was following an if it fits your macros style of eating combined with intermittent fasting. I didn't really know about eating windows when I first started trying to lose weight, and I lost like 25 pounds doing that. But then again, I plateaued, and the weight loss was very slow. It was like 1 to 2 pounds a week. It was practically like a crawl. So I know exactly where this guy was, and that's when I picked up alternate day fasting and eventually moved into the keto style of eating. So he says 3 months into it, and I couldn't believe the results, man. The body fat just came right off, and I went from 164 down to my lowest 141. He said he was told he looked sick, but that was because people who knew him had no idea what was going on. He says he's gotten down to his lowest body fat percentage too. He said, my desire has always been to obtain the athlete physique with abs and that look. I think the look he's referring to, at least the look that I always strive for, is that Conor McGregor look. He's just got like the perfect look in my opinion, man. He's shredded, he's got good muscle, good definition, and plus he's so confident. I love Conor McGregor. Anyway, let's get back into it. So he said, my desire has always been to obtain the athlete physique. However, come summer, I began to feel I was missing out on carbs and tricked myself into thinking that I needed to enjoy my life and eat my carbs/sugar just because. Several months later, into winter of last year, there I was, 20 pounds heavier, and the ugly fat came right back on. And this will definitely happen. If you lose the fat, fasting and you do not continue to fast, you do not continue on with your ketogenic style of eating, if you get lazy, and it will happen, you will become complacent at some point. It's just a matter of time of when. That's why I say it's good to have a plan in place, so that way when you do fall, when you do get lax, you can still have some kind of strategy to keep the weight off. Because let's be honest, with anything, with any kind of diet, with any kind of different lifestyle that we choose, we are going to fall back a little bit. That's just with anything, your willpower is you only have so much willpower. He said, I decided, you know what, this is not who I am, nor do I want to look like this. Thus, I decided to commit fully to the ketogenic lifestyle: bacon, beef, nuts, cheese, veggies, good keto quality foods. How can you not love them? I took for granted at first, but have now come full circle and have realized I truly appreciate my fats and proteins and can now comfortably and happily live without carbs for honestly as long as I live. And I definitely agree with that. I love crackers. I used to eat crackers by the sleeve, and I'm not even kidding. Like saltines, I would just throw back a whole pack, like, y'all know how you can get those big long cracker sleeves. I would eat sleeves at a time of crackers, and that was a big thing that I was worried about once I went keto. I was worried that I was going to miss crackers. I was worried I was going to miss pizza. I was like, man, I'm not going to eat cake, ice cream. There's so many things I'm going to miss out on. But honestly, you guys, I don't even have the cravings for it. And a lot of the people who have switched to the keto style macros, they can attest to that. And that's why I like fruit, because you can still get the carbs in and you will not get the cravings. I don't crave nor miss any of it. Anyway, the point of this has come to discovering IF, intermittent fasting, and its powerful benefits. I thought I was doing IF correctly, as I'd only have my bulletproof coffee as my only meal, then eat at dinner, but apparently that is not the case, as it does break your fast, especially MCTs. Now, I made a video on this. This is considered a fat fast. You are still abstaining from food, however you are consuming fats. Now, you will have to burn through the calories that you consume from the fats before you will target your body fat. So it's still considered a fast to some extent. He said, I began to research IF, but more so the scientific component. I've watched Thomas DeLauer, Dr. Berg. I love Thomas DeLauer and Dr. Berg, all their videos, and have discovered the channel Low Carb Down Under. I've seen his as well. I had no idea about insulin, as you stated it perfectly. Insulin is the reason we gain weight, and I got that from this book here, which I highly recommend, The Obesity Code. I highly recommend you guys read this book. Insulin is the key factor of obesity. So he goes on to say it's an insulin game. Low insulin induced glycagon activation, get HDH up, noradrenaline, oxidized free fatty acids, and the list goes on. Throw in keto and it's game over. Thus my story is that I do IF every day, typically 18 to 22 hours, with a 36 to 42 hour fast every week. So I've been accustomed to it. One thing I want to say is when I first started fasting, I was watching people like the Hodge twins. I was watching like Low Carb Corey, I think, was one of them. But like the Hodge twins would always say, like, if you fast, you were gonna get catabolic at some point, and after 24 hours you would turn catabolic and your body would go after your muscles. This couldn't be farther from the truth. And in Dr. Jason Fung's book, The Obesity Code, he talks about how fasting is actually muscle sparing. It's actually really muscle sparing. So if you fasted for a week, you wouldn't even hit your muscle. The only point that you would get at your muscle is when you ran out of body fat, and 99.9% of people don't have enough, willpower to even get to that point. So it's definitely muscle sparing. So he says 42-hour fast every week. So I've become accustomed to it. However, after my cut ended back in June, I've since then done lazy keto and unfortunately have gained some weight and fat back on, but still have a lean, bulky look. Yes, I definitely know about that. And I definitely know that you can't, if you get into lazy keto, man, lazy keto is easy to get into. You got those nuts, you start throwing back those almonds, you start, you add a little too much, grass-fed butter, you put a little too much olive oil. You can definitely fall into lazy keto and be consuming way more calories than what you should. Okay, so he says, I've been watching your videos and am about to commit to ADF, alternate day fasting, to try to burn as much fat as I can before vacation in mid-August. Do you track your keto macros when you do your eating? I do not. One thing that I do like to do is I eat veggies first. I'll start off with a big salad, which I'll do olive oil and salt and pepper on. Big salad. And then I also do veggies. I'll do like a pack of steamed veggies, and then I'll do like half an avocado to a whole avocado. So I make sure I get that in first. Also with a meat source. So I'll usually do like bacon, just any kind of fatty meat really. So I just do that first. I make sure I get my veggies in first, make sure I get my meat in first, and then I'm good to go from there. And then I try to keep the nuts to a minimum. And then if kind of like right now I'm not trying to lose as much fat, so I'll throw in berries as well. So blueberries, strawberries, things of that nature. So no, I do not track my macros at this point. However, whenever I was doing If It Fits Your Macros, I was militant with tracking the macros. He said the nuts and cheese have killed me, LOL, so I'll be cutting them out and probably just eyeball my macros and go for the greens and meats, which is a great idea. I definitely suggest that. Eat meats and greens first. Try to fill yourself up as much as possible because it's so easy to overeat on nuts and cheese. And he concludes by saying, anyway, man, sorry for the long post, haha, but love your videos. Glad I discovered your channel. Well, Armando, I just want to say thank you so much for your comment. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your story with us. It's hard to admit once you do lose the weight that, you put the weight back on, because it kind of hurts our pride a little bit because we put in so much work to lose that weight. But if you do not have a plan in place, this is the main focus of this video. If you do not have a plan in place, once you've completed your goal, you will fall back onto old habits. It's easy, even in keto, even following a ketogenic lifestyle, you can still put on weight. It's very easy. Just consume like a pack of nuts. I mean, almonds, man. Almonds are so calorically dense. So anyway, Armando, thank you so much for the message. You guys, make sure you have a plan in place for once you do complete your fasting goals, and so that way you can continue with living the fast and focused lifestyle and continue to keep the weight off. My name is Justin. This is Fasting Philosophy. Make sure you leave a like on the video if you liked it. Leave me something down in the comment section, and if you have not already, make sure you subscribe, as I have many more videos to come. I want to thank you guys for watching. Like I said, my name is Justin. This is Fasting Philosophy, and until next time, stay fasted, my friends. Peace.